taking action, because people get stuck on fear, and fear paralyzes you. I mean, that's exactly what happened in 2020 with, the pandemic. It paralyzed a lot of industries, and a lot of industries went out of business for that reason.
From cornfields to high-rises, office to industrial, houses to hotels, and every other asset class in real estate, we cover the people, the projects, and the profit. Welcome to the Investing in Iowa show. This show is for go-doers, action takers, and business owners. It's for people like you who are sick of Uncle Sam taking a huge bite of your apple. If you're looking to get ahead of what's taking place in Iowa, learn who is doing what, and how you can get in on the action, you're in the right place. Hosted by Neil Timmins, an Iowa native who has been involved in over $300 million in real estate right here in Iowa. Recording in studio from West Des Moines. Here's your host, Neil Timmins.
I've got Bexaida Dominguez here on the show. Bex, good to see you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here, Neil. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. Say, for the audience's sake, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do?
Yeah, so I am Bexaida Dominguez, and I grew up here in Iowa, actually originally from Mexico. So I've been here almost 24 years.
What brought you? What brought the whole family, or maybe just you? What brought everybody here?
Yeah, so back when the railroad actually brought the whole family. So we had a great uncle come and work on the railroad here in Iowa.
Okay.
And then we just started coming up here, and it's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's incredible. So you came here, and then what'd you do when you first got here?
So was in school in the Des Moines district, and then we moved to the West Des Moines district 2 years after. Grew up here in West Des Moines. Valley Junction was my playground, and so graduated from Valley High School. I loved it. It was amazing.
Yeah. So you got out of high school, then what'd you do?
I was trying to figure out life, right? As
so many 18-year-olds are trying to do, yeah.
Yeah, as a young adult, I was trying to figure out life. I didn't want to be a follower, right? So I didn't want to just go to college because everybody was going. So I decided I was going to take a year off, or a few. I think I went to DMAC for a few semesters, and nothing was sticking. It was just one of those things that I did not know what I wanted to do. So I decided to work, start making money. And so got in the food industry and started working my way up to being supervisor, and then eventually became a general manager. By the time that I was maybe 23, 24, I figured I could make good money as a manager if I wasn't going to go and study anything. So it worked out. I loved it.
How long did you stay in that industry for?
From the time that I was about 16 till about I was 28.
Okay.
So it was about 12 years.
And then at 28, what?
28, I figured out, I'm like, what am I doing, right? When you work for somebody, you're not going to get financial freedom. There's going to be a cap of how much you can make with them. And so I was a general manager, couldn't see myself being a district manager. And then I would also see the numbers come in, right? So they would make my salary in about 2 weeks. And I'm like, dang, what am I doing? I'm working 50 hours, overworked. I'm tired all the time.
A challenging schedule?
Challenging, yeah. 4:30 in the morning to about 3 p.m. Yeah, it was insane. And so there was a week where I was opening up every single day at 4:30. And this gentleman kept coming through at 4:30. Or at 5 when we opened. Yeah. And I eventually, maybe 4 days in, I asked him, I'm like, hey, what do you do for work? He's like, I'm in real estate. I'm like, at this time, And he's like, well, I do non-traditional real estate. Awesome. So he came in the next day. I said, can I grab a coffee with you? He talked to me about wholesaling. And so that's when I started getting, the wheels turning in my head. Like, maybe there's something else out there that I can get into, And so eventually I started researching wholesaling, how to do it, how to get started. And I had a deal going on. So I sent out some direct mail, eventually got a deal. And I think I spent 6 hours maybe with my first deal, $4,000 in. I was like, I like this better than the other stuff. So yeah, that's how I got started into real estate.
First deal was a wholesale.
Wholesale deal. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask, because I'm just curious, who in the world is there 4 days, every day in a row at 5 a.m.? Will you share the name, or will you tell me after the fact? Because I'm just curious as to, I know a lot of realtors, a lot of people in the real estate business, and not many are operating at 5 a.m.
No, I'm not. I can tell you that. And he's like, hey, listen, I get started early. I get excited and get started early. And so that's what worked for him, his schedule. I'm like, I don't think I can do 5 a.m. after quitting, the restaurant industry. Yeah. So
Well, so much of that, certainly I understand and deeply value morning routines. And so a lot of that has to go in with that at 5 a.m., not actually going to work.
Right.
Hey, Iowa investors, this is Ava Bautkamp, Chief of Staff at Legacy Impact Investors. Have you thought about adding real estate to your portfolio but don't have the time or desire to play landlord? At Legacy Impact Investors, we do the heavy lifting. Our team finds the deals, manages the properties, and handles all the day-to-day operations. Our select group of qualified investors co-invest with us, gaining ownership equity without opening a tenant email or responding to a maintenance call. They just share in the income, appreciation, and tax benefits. These opportunities aren't for everyone. They are for qualified, accredited investors only. If you want to learn more, please visit legacyimpactinvestors.com to apply.
All right, so you wholesale a deal, you make $4,000, and you're like,
yeah, I was hooked. It was 2020, so there was a lot of things happening. The pandemic was happening. I was getting into real estate. My partner and I were buying a house. We didn't know anything about real estate, right? But and then I decided that I would quit my 9 to 5 that same year. And my dad and I had plans of starting a painting company because he had been painting for 12 years with somebody else, and that gentleman was retiring. So 2021, we go in and start our painting company. And so we were very blessed. We inherited all that gentleman's clients. So we started, painting right away. Yeah. And so focused on painting 2021 and studying for my license. As a wholesaler, I felt like I was in the gray area. And so I'm like, maybe I can get my license as a realtor and I can do whatever, right? Like, obviously, there's things that I have to abide by, but I felt more confident.
Serve a broader clientele population.
Yeah. Studied whole 2021. I was painting. It was insane. I was up on ladders. I was up on the roof, right? I was just starting a business from scratch with my dad. And so 2022 comes around and my partner and I decided to start flipping. I got my license in March 2022. And that same month, we got our first flip. We didn't know what we were doing, right? And we went through a hard money lender. We didn't know how it worked, but we figured it out and it was amazing. I mean, the experience, we did profit from it, which was amazing because sometimes with your first flip, you don't profit, right? And so we did profit and we were hooked ever since. Yeah.
Oftentimes, it's fair to say, oftentimes in that first deal, certainly the one you went through is, yes, you profit, but you probably made more in the education that you received.
1,000%. Yes. And that's what it is. It's taking action because people get stuck on fear and fear paralyzes you. I mean, that's exactly what happened in 2020 with, the pandemic. It paralyzed a lot of industries and a lot of industries went out of business for that reason, so.
A number of people who took action in that time frame made a considerable amount of money.
Yes, I'm like, why was I not selling houses in 2020? But I also heard it was stressful, from all the deals and
Yeah, it's often stressful for realtors making too much money.
Yeah, right? It's crazy. It should never be a thing.
It feels a little better when you get that paycheck.
Yeah.
Just like flipping a house, just like anything, right?
Yeah. No, but it was great and we just kept doing it. We kept, we're on our 8th flip. So, and we're going into 3 years. And we flipped 8 homes. Yeah. And so a lot of learning experiences, a lot.
Did having the painting business with your father, did that help you from knowing or meeting contractors in various trades?
Yes, 1,000%. It helped with connections and it also helped with capital, right? Because otherwise, when you start from zero, if you don't have private lenders or you have a big chunk in your bank account, you need some type of money coming in. Right. And so the painting business was such a blessing in all aspects. I mean, it opened up a lot of doors for sure.
Still have the painting business today?
Still have it. Yeah. We're still painting. We do residential, commercial, and so interior, exterior, and we're heavily based on referrals.
I think that's where you remind me, you're younger, you got better memory than me, but I think that's where we originally met was in 21.
Yeah.
As a result of the painting business.
Exactly.
We were doing on our properties.
Yeah, that's how we met.
And you guys have done a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's go back to your first flip. What were your biggest takeaways coming, you finished the project, it gets done. What did you really learn? What were the takeaways from that you applied on an ongoing basis? I
think keeping a budget in place, right? Because when you're first starting it, we bought this property with the realtor that helped us during COVID. Sure. But, during COVID, realtors weren't taking the time to explain the process. They were just dealing with a lot. And it was just like, okay, we're under contract. Congratulations. Go get inspection and then we'll keep in touch. And so he helped us, but he didn't specialize in working with investors. So there was no guidance. Yeah. So it was all figuring it out by ourselves. And I think our hard money lender was a big, big blessing because he helped us with getting a budget set up, right? Getting a budget set up, keeping track of that. And so what we learned from that too is that layout has to do a lot with it, right? When you're flipping, and location. So, and also like the timeline is never going to be perfect. We wanted to flip in 3 months. It took twice as long, and there's a lot of moving pieces with contractors that take time. So I think that the biggest lessons came later on when we did more flips.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to go back to the hard money and lending side of things, because this comes up, we've got a business here. This comes up when, we ask people for certain things. And oftentimes, as you said, like a budget, we ask for a scope of work. And certainly provide one to help get somebody into our format so we have a clear understanding about what it is they're doing. Oftentimes, if somebody has a viewpoint that you have, which is these people I surround myself with are here to help me. But from our lending standpoint, it's always to help someone.
Absolutely.
And sometimes that means, hey, did you think about this?
Yeah.
And the answer sometimes is no. What is that?
Right.
It's just to have that conversation, because the last thing we would ever want somebody to do is to sign up for, a loss or no money, knowing that on the way in.
Exactly.
Right? Yes, you can.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yes. To the fact, because nothing goes exactly to plan, but you gotta be able to go on the way in and go, yeah, this is the plan and this is the profit at the end of this, as long as we execute.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was something that was on that budget. Like we didn't think of things like that, like the exterior, the junk removal, the landscaping. Well, we didn't, when we were running our numbers separately, we didn't think of the landscaping. Yeah. We were just thinking of the interior of the home, right? Or any permits that are going to get pulled, right? How's the sewer? Or a lot of things that you don't go in and look at it cosmetically,
sure.
So absolutely, it helped us a lot. And he did an absolutely amazing job at guiding us through that.
All right. So you learned even more. You do one, you learn something cool, and then there's probably be learnings, all the way through the process.
Yes.
Talk to me about, I guess flips 2 through 8. What have been the takeaways through there as you've advanced?
Yeah, no, I think the biggest is you rely a lot on contractors, right?
Sure.
But then also those that have a license, we trusted that they would tell us the truth about having a license. On one of them, we were doing a whole rewire. And, he's a gentleman that seemed to be established as an electrician. Yeah. And so he started doing most of the work and we started having issues. Finally, I asked him for his license number. Could not find it. He was not licensed. He was getting sponsored, which is not the same thing as having a license. So we learned to check, for licenses. That project, we actually just sold that in the spring of 2023. And that whole project, we learned so much, also working with the city. I had heard that it was very scary, and it was not at all. It's like building a relationship, right? If you start off being positive and wanting to collaborate and cooperate, they're going to work with you.
Right.
And so we had a phenomenal experience with the city. We were able to get a tax abatement, which we also learned about that. So the next owners could save money on that.
Sure.
So the perks of pulling permits is that you can get tax abatements for the next people. And you also learn to work with the city, get along with them, make friends.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. If you approach, like any relationship, if you approach it coming into meeting someone new for the first time with a positive outlook, it tends to go pretty positive.
1,000%. So that was our biggest lesson. And then the most current one was just doing sewer scopes. Checking the sewer, because these are old houses and they used to do all kinds of material like PVC, or some have clay tile, other have Orangeburg. And it can save a lot of money. Yeah.
So you're doing scopes before you buy?
Either before or after, depending on how much budget you have, right? And if there is enough for you to not have it, But I would 1,000% moving forward get that done before to make sure that it makes sense.
There's a lot of Orangeburg in the city still.
A lot, right? A lot.
It seems like every sewer is, $8,000 to $15,000.
Yes, it's super expensive.
And they dig a giant hole in your front yard.
Exactly. And they charge you for all of that.
Yeah. And so the front yard, takes a while to recover.
Absolutely. Yes.
Wow. Are you keeping any as rentals, or are you just selling everything?
So we were selling at the beginning just because we needed capital coming in, right? So, but recently we were able to buy our first rental. And with that, we did creative financing. So we did under contract just because it was somebody that they weren't going to profit if they sold traditionally. So we were able to come in, give a down payment, keep it, and now we're looking for tenants. So it'll be our first rental. Yeah. So we're excited about that.
Did you buy it under contract or on a sub-2?
So on contract.
On contract.
Yeah.
And then their existing mortgage presumably is in place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they wrapped it essentially with their mortgage. So you on contract. Yeah. A defined set of terms there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was great. It worked for both parties.
I think there's it has become and becoming a more popular conversation today is creative financing. And largely, I think for a couple different reasons. One is that interest rates obviously doubled overnight over a couple of years ago. Yeah. And it's all of a sudden we're at 7 or 8 or whatever the rate range happens to be today. Mm-hmm. And then as a result, in certain places, if they bought it, like a lot of people bought during COVID, fantastic interest rates. But they're in a spot where they couldn't sell today and walk away. Some people have to write checks depending on how much money they put down the house, right? Mm-hmm. And some just don't make anything. So it is requiring a little different approach to be able to put things together when you've got a seller who wants to sell for a lot of reasons, right?
Absolutely.
It could just be as simple as, my wife got a dream job and it's not here and we're going to move out of state.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but it's amazing that there's a lot of ways that somebody could sell a house, not just traditionally, right? And as realtors, it's our duty to start learning about these creative ways of financing so we can better help our clientele and our community.
If you're a house flipper, execute the burst strategy, or do double closings and are in need of money, Little Guy Loans is your go-to lender here in the Des Moines area. Time is money. Loan approvals in 24 hours. Closings in 5 days. Little Guy Loans was founded by Neil Timmins, an investor just like you. Since he has been in over 10,000 homes in Des Moines, there's never an appraisal. Houses, multifamily, and commercial property loans up to $1 million. Check out www.littleguyloans.com.
Talk to me about, what are some of the ways that one could buy creatively? Let's say from a homeowner standpoint, not just an investor standpoint.
So I think, for example, I had a client that she couldn't qualify for more than $125,000. $125,000. I mean, sometimes you can't even get a flip with $125,000 nowadays, less likely a livable house. And so she couldn't qualify for anything higher. She's not going to get more income at the moment. Her dream was pretty much shattering away with traditional. So we went to there was this condo that had been on contract for a long, long time, and he was upside down because he put it on the market a month after he got it. And so we knew that there was room to come in and offer to buy on contract. And so that's where it came in, like, hey, if they don't qualify traditionally, you can go this route, but not every realtor knows how to do it. And not every broker knows about it, because I talked to an agent, and she was like, hey, my broker doesn't want us doing these types of deals. But it's like everything is legal, right? You have a contract in place, and obviously if it doesn't get executed, there's consequences just like anything else, right? So
just like not paying your mortgage.
Exactly. So that's where it can help our clientele. I mean, you sometimes they just don't qualify, and it's not something that's going to change in the near future.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. And I understand that the certain brokers' perspectives going, we don't really want to go down this path. When you know one way and it's been that way for so long, it's easy to stay on that path.
Exactly. Yeah. And, I haven't had the opportunity to do a sub to. I've heard of also assumable loans, right? I haven't had the chance to do it either. But there's so many options out there that we could be offering our clients once again, because at the end of the day, that's our duties to help them out, and our knowledge has to be broad.
How has being an investor, helped you as an agent?
A ton. I mean, I work a lot with investors. So most of my clientele is with investors, which I love because my business can be very predictable. If I know this investor will buy and sell 4 times a year, that's 4 already. The next one is, let's say, 3. So I love that aspect, but I bring in the knowledge that I gain while doing my flips, right? And I offer those tools that I got along the way, like the scope of work and keeping a budget, reaching out to the city, knowing when to reach out to the city, because not every single home needs to be through the city, right? And so it's helped me educate my clients more than anything. And also it helped me get some of my clients started in investing because they didn't know how to do it. And I remember looking back at my journey, it's like, I wish I would have had somebody guiding me through the first investment, the first flip. So yeah.
For you, why Iowa? You could do what you do anywhere. You choose to be here. Why?
Yeah. So obviously it's been home for a long time, but I also think that we have an amazing market, right? I have outside investors, out of state investors coming in to buy here because renting still makes sense and houses are still affordable here, rather than the West Coast, the East Coast. So I like that. And then families here as well. And it's just a really nice place to live and stay. I like it.
What are you most excited about here this year in 2025?
25. So we just acquired our first commercial building. So that's exciting. Yeah, thank you.
Tell me about that.
Oh, it came through one of my family members. He's been doing some landscaping work for this gentleman, and he was ready to retire. Oh, he wanted to sell for X amount of dollars, and I'm like, can't get financing right now. Because as you know, as investors, when you're first getting started, and I don't know if it's with everybody, but your credit goes up and down just because you're using maybe credit cards to get started, have multiple deals going on, right? So your credit's not going to be always perfect at the beginning, right? And so I told him we can't do traditional. Well, he was willing to sell on contract. And so we were able to get that. And so we're on a 7-year interest only contract, and it's on Army Post, and it's exciting and nerve wracking and everything, but you got to take a leap of faith eventually.
What's the, what type of building? What are you using?
Type of building. So it's a mixed use. Okay. Right now it has a pawn shop in the front. It'll have offices on the top, and then there's 2 mechanics in the back. So very, very mixed use. Yes. Yeah.
All right. I went down that rabbit hole. Bring it back to 2025 because I got curious about it as soon as you said about it.
Thank you.
All right. So you're excited about that. What else are you excited about for this year?
I think just educating people. So I love holding seminars for new investors or even seasoned investors. Love holding seminars and getting people riled up about that. And also, learning about or teaching about financial freedom. And even though I'm only 3 years in, like, the mindset has everything to do, and who you surround yourself with, right? Has everything to do with it. So that's where I'm gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on teaching others about financial freedom and investing and doing flips, keep doing flips, and maybe holding one more rental. And so a lot of exciting things, a lot. Yes. We also I partner up with a few other agents here in the Des Moines area, and we wanted to start a community. So called Level Up Movement. Just focus on collaboration, helping each other grow, empowering each other. And it's something that the West Coast has it very well. Like, they've established that. And I feel like we could do that here, helping each other grow, right? And so we started that at the end of last year. So we're very excited to start that movement and help other realtors and investors.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's great. Are you ready for the final 3 questions?
Yes.
All right.
Let's do it.
If you had one piece of advice for your 20-year-old self.
Man, that's a tough one. I'm like, a lot of things. So I think that dreaming, right? Because I feel like I stopped dreaming when I got into the restaurant business, just because it was like, okay, I can become a manager. I'll stay there. So I didn't dream, right? I didn't allow myself to dream. So I think dreaming has a lot to do with where we go. So I would say dream big.
I think there's an old saying. I remember this. It's something to the degree of most people die at 21. That's the day they stop dreaming. You're so right.
I still think I started dreaming pretty early on. I was 28, but definitely at 20.
Well, everything gets created twice. One in the mind's eye, and then one, if they say, in the man's hand.
Yeah.
To be realized.
I love that.
2 books that changed your life.
Great question. I love that. I got goosebumps. Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
Loved it. I loved it. It took me a while to read, but I was processing everything. And then Think and Grow Rich was the first one. And then the second one was Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Sure.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. So
Kiyosaki, a big one.
yes.
If you were cast away on an island for 1 year, get 3 pieces of data about your business each and every month. What 3 things must you know every month to know how your business is running?
Oh, that's a tough one. Okay, repeat it again for me, please.
Yeah. If you were cast away on an island for a year, you can only get 3 pieces of data about your business each and every month. What 3 things must you absolutely know every month to know how your business is running?
I think I would want to definitely know about my clients. So maybe getting letters from my clients. Secondly, I probably would want to know where my contractors are at. And then the third one, finances, like a financial report. Yeah. And then I can be stranded on an island. I'll be good with that.
Well, Bexaida, I've asked you lots of questions. What's one question I did not ask that I should have asked?
Gosh, maybe my ultimate goal.
Yeah.
What my ultimate goal is. Just because we have a lot of little goals, right?
Sure.
So my ultimate goal is to definitely retire in 10 years.
Yeah.
And financial freedom.
What does that look like to you?
So financial freedom and retirement. So I think financial freedom looks like cash flow, owning assets. I don't need to be working. I can be sleeping and money's going to flow in. Retirement, I think obviously I'll be like 42, 43. I feel like I'll still have energy, hopefully. I feel like to me, retirement looks doing something that I don't need to do for money. So maybe, living in Italy, having maybe a vineyard, something like that. So
still dreaming. I love it.
That's all I do. I love dreaming.
Fantastic. Well, I've enjoyed this conversation. Say for the, if people, they want to find you, they want to follow you, and they want to connect with you, where can they go? What should they do?
Yeah. So, I have Facebook, Bexaida Dominguez, and then I do have Instagram as well, and it's Bexaida. And yeah, they can reach out to me and we can chat, grab coffee together.
Links are below in the show notes to connect with you, Bexaida, for everybody. So I appreciate you being here. So
thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you, Neil.
Thanks for listening. If you're enjoying the show, may I ask a favor of you? Naturally, subscribe so you never miss an episode. But would you rate and leave an honest written review on Apple Podcasts? It does a lot for us here at the show, and I appreciate reading your thoughts. Great guests make for a great show. If you know of another island who would be a great guest, or you yourself have interest in being a guest, well, get on our radar. Visit Investing in Iowa to fill out an application or recommend a guest. And if you want to connect with me one-on-one, go to LegacyImpactInvestors.com. Click on the Invest With Us button in the top right corner, and there you can pick a time for the two of us to get on the calendar and connect. Until next time, keep investing in Iowa.